Hello everyone, I hope you're enjoying my 2 weeks off. Today on Tin For Tuesday we have the Triggered Limey, who's filled in for me before. Today he is looking at 5G, one of my favourites. Here we go.
Finally, I've reached the year 2533. Time to assess Artemis Tau for colonization.
General Limey, there appears to be an anomaly. You have been awakened from cryosleep 510 years too early.
What? How the heck did that happen?
Why are you emphasizing your words so much?
Because I'm trying to add some drama to the video.
It appears you have a message. Shall I play it for you?
Yes, please do.
Hi Limey, sorry to wake you from your mission, but NASA needs you to correct some people's misunderstandings on 5G urgently. Apparently it's in your contract. Best of luck.
Okay, I guess I better get started. Hi, I'm the Triggered Limey, and this is 5G misunderstandings in a nutshell. The misunderstandings surrounding 5G are incredibly vast. From people claiming that 5G has made them sick, caused bloody noses, activated the coronavirus, or is some sort of weapon that can be used to wipe out the population. That last bloke is relatively well-known anti-5G and very expert.
Very expert.
Mark Steele. Being pretty much worshipped by all 5G nutters, he leads the charge in trying to convince the world that 5G is dangerous.
The sun shines on the righteous, and we are the righteous. Sovereign! This is a crime! You've seen the evidence! Do your job! Arrest the criminals in the telecommunications industry!
The misinformation being spread by Steele and others has led to many anti-5G groups forming all over social media. Protests, destruction of public property, and even assault. So what is 5G? 5G is simply the 5th generation mobile network coming after 4G and prior to that 1, 2 and 3G services. It's nothing more than mobile carriers attempting to improve the amount of data and the speeds at which that data can be transferred over their networks and down to the customer's mobile devices, or vice versa. The 5G towers transmit non-ionizing radiation that falls into the microwave area of the spectrum. That's the same region as the radiation used by radios and, funnily enough, microwaves. As these waves are non-ionizing, they actually lack the energy required to break down or outright destroy your cells, meaning that despite what these tinfoil hat-wearing muppets say, they're actually unable to weaken your immune system or cause cancer. They just can't do it. And any claim they do are just lies stemming from ignorance or ulterior motives, such as the sale of gadgets that supposedly protect you from 5G. One of them, which is supposed to protect your entire living area, is just a closed-off plug attached to a plastic block. It's not actually connected to anything.
Okay. Yep, just a plug.
And it sells for $134.95. Other products in this complete grift of a category literally sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So let's just talk about radiation. All connected devices emit some form of radiation, be it your 4 or 5G mobile phone, your Bluetooth earphones, or even your laptop. This sits in the non-ionizing spectrum and does not cause any health effects. Even most of the light from the sun is non-ionizing, as much of the ionizing ultraviolet rays get filtered out by the gases in the atmosphere, particularly oxygen. So then we move on to ionizing radiation, which is strong enough to rip electrons away from atoms and severely damage DNA. This radiation, especially when exposed to in high quantities, can introduce errors into your DNA, which can lead to things like cancer. To further put 5G and microwave radiation in general into perspective, the most powerful microwaves only give out about 1/1500th of the power of the least powerful rays in the visible light spectrum. That's right, most of the rays of light that we experience on a daily basis are over 1500 times stronger than 5G. Another thing to note is that the 5G wave is notoriously bad at penetrating objects, including the human body. This is one of the the reasons why so many towers need to be put up. The other reason is the distance that these waves can travel. Whilst the shorter 5G wavelength allows for a lot more data to travel much faster, these short waves are also very weak, vastly decreasing the distance that they can travel. A 5G signal coming from one of the towers has a range of approximately 1,000 feet. That's about 2% of the range of a 4G tower. And the range of a destroyed tower is significantly less than that. Doctors and scientists have explained ad nauseum that 5G and all previous wireless technology have no adverse health effects on humans. But, as is often the case, conspiracy theorists will still choose to believe people with no scientific background over the experts. That's like picking some random up off the street and letting them handle your kidney transplant instead of an actual surgeon. What a sad world they must live in. It just blows my mind. What we're learning here is that we should always remember, especially when doing our own research, is that correlation does not mean causation. Sure, there may have been some areas that had more 5G towers that also had more cases of COVID-19. But these areas tend to have more towers due to the size of the area as well as the size of the population. And with these larger populations comes an increased chance of COVID spreading. More people, more cases. That's the actual correlation that conspiracy theorists should look at. There's also places like Iran that got hit very hard by the virus and hadn't even rolled out 5G. They didn't have a tower in sight. One of the biggest problems we face in this day and age is misinformation. Even celebrities get involved, further spreading this rubbish to their millions and even tens of millions of followers. And of course, once it moves from the online forums to the real world, it can lead to vandalism and even violence. I'd like to take a moment to read an article I came across whilst researching all of this. This one was the sort of coronavirus one, and people were basically attaching anti-5G posters to the telegraph poles and hiding razor blades in them to injure the engineers as they were going about their job. So the headline is Coronavirus, Razor Blades in Anti-5G Posters on Telegraph Poles. Razor blades have been hidden behind anti-5G posters on telegraph poles. Telecoms engineers are being warned. Openreach workers were told to take care after blades and needles were found behind protest signs. It comes amid a rise in the number of attacks on engineers fueled by a conspiracy theory wrongly linking 5G and coronavirus. There were 68 incidents of verbal and physical abuse since 1st of April, as opposed to 42 for the entirety of 2019. I just changed the word a little bit there, but yeah, for the whole thing. So this was the 11th of May 2020, and so 1st of April, I'm guessing it was probably for the month of April, but either way, just over 40 days, 68 incidents compared to 42 for the entire of the previous year. Just bloody disgusting, and I thought I would show that. My main point today was to just give a brief explanation of 5G and to also remind people just to remember that Facebook, YouTube, etc. are not educational institutions. So kids, stay in school. Hello, this is Editing Limey. Now, I didn't want to put this video out with just adding this little tidbit of information. If you look at all the papers, basically, regarding 5G, most of the earlier papers were written by people that had ties to anti-5G groups. So that led to a very skewed way of looking at things. Now, there are a lot of papers that suggest that 5G is pretty much harmless or definitely harmless. I haven't been able to read through them all. But one thing we should remember is that scientists will continue to study 5G. To get the best information possible, you always want to look at peer-reviewed papers. Just make sure that they are legit and they're from accredited scientists or institutions and don't have an anti-5G agenda. We want people that are looking at it with an open mind. Thank you for watching my video, and a massive thanks to Simon Dan for allowing me to cover this Tinfoil Tuesday. Please consider checking out my channel too. We're getting better with each video, and I can't wait to see where this year takes us. Okay. Yep. Roger that. Well, it seems like NASA is moving my trip up to first class.
Preparing for space-time teleportation. 3,
Goodbye all.
2,
Hope to see you soon.
1.
Invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout, and fame.
Overactor.
Levitating gyrus.